What up, y'all? John Murray here, and I want to say thank you for tuning in to the YouTube playback of my Facebook Live series, Let's Talk Live. Now, because this version is not live, you won't be a part of the interactive conversation, so don't look for a shout out. You won't be getting one. However, enjoy the Hot Topics dialogue and follow me on Facebook at Jawn Murray World. That's JAWNMURRAY World, so that you can catch a live broadcast and be a part of the conversation. Now, let's join Let's Talk Live, already in progress. The bookshelf is different. I cleaned it up. It's a little more organized. I have my collection of wrestling figures here. For those who don't know, I'm a big WWE fan, so I have my wrestling figures. I also have my New Day lunchbox right there. They are my favorite WWE team, and that's the New Day right there in my action figures. That's the Usos. That's Naomi for those who watch Total Divas. That's Sasha Banks. There's a little MVP right there, Mark Henry there, and a whole lot of other people in there. Yes, I have white wrestlers in there as well. You see that thing all the way in the back there? That's Kamala, the Ugandan giant. So yeah. All right, we're almost at the start number. I appreciate you guys joining in. I want to go over a couple things, talk a little Cosby, and then I got some oldie but goodie stuff I want to talk to you about. So, I have a giveaway. I need to figure out how to do it though. I'm giving away a copy tonight of April Ryan's Under Fire. This book by Roman and Littlefield. April Ryan Under Fire, reporting from the front lines of the Trump White House. I'm giving away a copy. I just need to figure out how to do it. So, someone said do trivia. Yes, maybe I will do trivia. That'll be cool. I'm going to come up with a trivia question at the end of the broadcast, and then I'll send somebody a copy of that book. The new Essence is out with Khalees on the cover. So Essence is out. Yeah, congrats to Khalees on her Essence cover. All right, so Labor Day weekend, I was in Dallas, Texas at the Riverfront Jazz Festival. Riverfront Jazz Festival. It was put on by the Black Academy of Arts and Letters, a non-for-profit organization. If you follow me on Instagram at Jawn Murray, JAWNMURRAY, I posted several videos both about the Riverfront Jazz Festival and the Black Academy of Arts and Letters, and I have videos of some of the performances and a recap of the whole weekend on my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, you are missing out. YouTube.com/Jawn Murray, JAWNMURRAY. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's so much good stuff there. All my TV clips are there. All my influencer videos are there. You can keep up with me and just check out so much good stuff. So I had a great time. Thanks to VisitDallas.com for hosting me and sponsoring this trip at the Riverfront Jazz Festival. Listen, if you like music festivals, this is a festival that you might want to consider going to in Dallas next year, Labor Day weekend. I mean, the lineup was pretty remarkable. They had Erykah Badu, they had Rasan Patterson, they had Layla Hathaway, they had Rochelle Farrell, they had Kenny Lattimore and Michael Lington, they had Rhonda Ross Kendrick, they had Julio Iglesias Jr., they had Alex Bunyan, they had Fat Daddy, Mickey Howard, Sean Martin, they had Liv Warfield, Kim Waters, Mindy Abir, Didi Bridgewater, Tito Puente Jr., Sir Charles, that's a trash-talking singer right there. They had the Rippingtons, Hiroshima. Great jazz, soul, R&B festival. Go to Dallas for this festival next year, put on by the Black Academy in Arts and Letters. The Black Academy in Arts and Letters is a professional, is a very spectacular organization that does arts and black theater and plays, and they have this amazing facility that's right inside the Dallas Convention Center, and they teach young people the arts. They do black plays there. So many great offerings in the arts. They got a little museum in there. And again, thanks to visitdallas.com for hosting me. Visitdallas.com. If you're ever going to Dallas, look up visitdallas.com. Just a great festival. So here are some of my tickets. I still got a drink ticket. My tickets from the event. Somebody said how much it was. I don't have a price on it. So yeah, thank you, Visit Dallas and the Riverfront Jazz Festival. Then I was in New York. I had never been to a Fashion Week show. So my good friend Koto Momolo, some of you remember her from Project Runway and Project Runway All Stars. So last year, 2017, Koto and my good friend Michael Knight, who was on Project Runway, they did their MKKM Experience Fashion Show in New York. They had done it a few times in other places. And so this year, it was a tribute show because, as you know, Michael Knight passed away last October. And it featured Peach Carr, Christopher Palo, Edmund Newton, Kimberly Goldston, and Koto. And then they had Michael Knight's runway collection from 2017 be the big attraction, and they showed it again in the same way that he showed it. So shout out to Koto Momolo. A great night, a great event. Guy Lambert hosted it. Peach Carr co-hosted it, in addition to showing her collection. And it was so great seeing Michael Knight's Grace and Mercy collection, his Spring-Summer 2018 collection. Yeah, so just a really, really great night. So, you know. And I have that. There's a video of that on my YouTube channel as well. So go to youtube.com/Jawn Murray, JAWN. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, you're really missing out. So you should go check out all of that stuff there. I am back from vacation. I took a 3-day vacation to Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. It's probably my second favorite city in the U.S. Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Nashville. But I had a good time in Vegas. I did not see this show's Humanity, but I did see the Cirque du Soleil show, The Beatles Love. I stayed at Mandalay Bay. That's my room key. And had a good time. So this is from the Beatles Love show that I went to see. That's my ticket. I went with Taj from SWV. I also got to spend time with Coco from SWV, who is one of my first friends when I started working in this business. I love her. She's one of my best friends. And there are photos of me at that Beatles show, photos with me and Taj and with Coco on my Instagram page, instagram.com/Jawn Murray, or just when you're in the app, JAWN_MURRAY. I also went to see the show Matt Goss, which is live at One Oak at the Mirage. He is a British artist. He has, think a young, hip Frank Sinatra. If Frank Sinatra was real swaggy with tattoos, that's Matt Goss. It was a great show. I had a good time. They were just sending drinks over to my table. It was fun. Solomon Dorm Larty is asking, have I seen the Michael Jackson Experience? Oh, yes, in Vegas by Cirque du Soleil. It was an amazing show. I really, really, really enjoyed it. Oh, and then I also got to see my good friend. These photos are on Instagram as well. George Wallace over at the Westgate. You know, George had a headlining show in Vegas for 10 years. He left, went on the road for like 3 years. Now he's back in Vegas and funnier than ever. So go see George when you're in Vegas. The new Mr. Las Vegas. Love my buddy George. And, yeah. All right, a few other things real quick. The video is on YouTube. It's actually doing really, really well. I went to Santa Barbara for the first time for the launch of the 2019 Nissan Altima. I don't know if you all know this, but the Nissan Altima is one of the most popular vehicles with African-American women. Black women love that vehicle. I think the #1 spot goes between the Nissan Altima and the Toyota Camry. But so Nissan had the launch for their Altima in Santa Barbara. First time in Santa Barbara. Beautiful city. It's my name badge with my schedule on it. And some Santa Barbara cup holders. A bag that had local gifts. The cup holder was one of the gifts. The corkscrew was one of the gifts. And so they just drive. We drove through the beautiful hills and the beaches of Santa Barbara all the way out to Malibu. So they set up a nice drive for us. And my riding partner was the wonderful Rhonda Penrice, a veteran media personality out of Atlanta, and a great conversationalist. I had a good time with Rhonda Penrice. She's also a good photographer. I'm funny about people taking my photos because you gotta take them the right way. This is my Nissan book. So yeah, so great time with Nissan. There's a great video on my YouTube page, youtube.com/Jawn Murray. Check it out. And then one more thing before we get into some other conversation. I was not really around during the Congressional Black Caucus here in D.C. this year because I was in New York for some very important meetings. But I got back in time for a brunch that AT&T and Essence magazine had. It was the Humanity of Connection brunch. It was a conversation with the authors of For Color Girls Who Have Considered Politics. These black political movers and shakers, Donna Brazile, Yolanda Caraway, who I met on Star Jones's Wedding Cruise, Leah Daughtry, and Mignon Moore. 4 great women, great event. They worked on the Hillary Clinton campaign, they worked on the Al Gore campaign, and they've done great work in politics. They also happen to be like best friends. So there's that. I also want to shout out, because we were talking about, I was talking about WWE and professional wrestling when I first signed on. I just want to acknowledge one of my good buddies who happens to be a professional wrestler, Kofi Kingston. Today marks the day that he has the most days as a tag team champion in the history of WWE. And his tag team partner Big E pointed this out. He's never failed a drug test, never had a brush in the law, and is always professional to the highest. So kudos to Kofi Kingston, and WWE needs to make him a world champion. I'm going to say it one more time. WWE needs to make him the world champion. There's money to be made with Kofi Kingston. So wanted to acknowledge that. All right. Let's talk Bill Cosby. Not going to spend a lot of time belaboring the Bill Cosby thing. Just going to make a few points, give you something to consider, and then I'm going to shift, and we're going to end on a higher note, a funner note. For a lot of people, the Bill Cosby situation is a new story. I'm not sure why. Because I work in entertainment and because I follow pop culture and read magazines and headlines and stuff, I was aware of the allegations against Bill Cosby all the way back to 2006. Now, apparently, they had been coming forward long before 2006. I mean, people have been talking about it before that, but there was an expose in People magazine that I read that was my first introduction to it. I remember reading that article and just throwing the article across the room because I couldn't believe some of the things they were saying. I was then at a comedy festival a few years afterwards. It was during my tenure on the Tom Joyner Morning Show, which was from 2006 until 2011. And Hannibal Buress was at this comedy show, and he did a joke about Bill Cosby. And, people laughed because he was irreverent or whatever. So I was familiar with the fact that Hannibal Buress had been doing this joke in his set for a significant part of time. So Hannibal Buress does a joke in Philly some years later, and A reporter from one of the Philly newspapers was there, recorded the joke. It goes viral, and now all of a sudden everybody's paying attention to Bill Cosby. People think the allegations came out of nowhere. There's a group of uninformed people, a lot of them people of color, who think it was some conspiracy theory because he was going to buy NBC. All of that's made up foolishness. But the fact remains that Bill Cosby had settled a lot of cases out of court. He had paid off a lot of people. He had worked out deals with the tabloids to keep the accusers from doing interviews. He had even done an interview, and a lot of this he ultimately admitted to in one of the settlement cases. But Bill Cosby had even negotiated a deal with the National Enquirer. They had interviewed one of his accusers. She passed the polygraph test. They were going to run the interview, and they called his people for a statement. And when his people got called for the statement, Bill Cosby decided, don't run the article. I will do an interview with the National Enquirer, and you can run that instead. I have to tell you, it's very unprecedented for a tabloid to get access to a celebrity the caliber of Bill Cosby. So they ran his interview, and it was one of the worst-selling issues of the National Enquirer of all time. So then they came back and said, okay, we found another accuser, and she also passed the polygraph test. We're going to run her interview. And Bill Cosby said, okay, what can I give you in return? They said, well, we're not running another one of your interviews because the last one you did didn't sell us any papers. So he said, I have something better. My daughter is a drug addict. Run a story about my daughter being a drug addict and don't run that lady's interview. So he sold out his own daughter in an effort to protect his own image. And they ran the story about his daughter's drug abuse. Bill Cosby then admitted that in the Pennsylvania court deposition. So several years ago, a judge in Pennsylvania unsealed one of the settlement court depositions because the new prosecutor argued that Bill Cosby had gone on this tour where he told black people we weren't going to be nothing, wasn't going to amount to nothing, your kids wasn't going to amount to nothing, that the boys need to pull their pants up, all that foolishness. And so they said that he had really presented himself as a moral authority, and they believed that the public should be privy to what he had admitted in his testimony, and that his sealed deposition should be unsealed. So they unsealed it. This is one of those things that my mother used to say, if it was a snake, it would have bit you. This thing has been unsealed, and it's out there for anybody who wants to read it. Most people don't read it because they say if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. And so I read the deposition. I read where Bill Cosby admits what he did to his daughter. He admits what he did to these women. He is dismissive and flippant and arrogant. And he acknowledges all of these egregious things in this court deposition. And so anybody who defends this man and makes excuses for this man and race baits for this man, all they would have to do is read the court deposition to see what the truth is. The man acknowledges all of this stuff in his own words under oath. So knowledge is there if we choose to have it, but most of us choose to live in ignorance. We choose to live in social media bliss. We repost and regurgitate false narratives and racial memes and all of this stuff. And it's why when we stand up for legitimate causes, civil rights and social justice, it's why when we take a knee with Colin Kaepernick, it's why when we talk about discrimination and real racism in this country, people say all you do is talk about racism because we use it in the wrong times. This Bill Cosby case is not about race. It's about rape. He drugged and raped more than 60 plus women, and those are only the ones that came forth. Some of y'all don't have 60 women in your family. He drugged and raped more women than some of you have in your church choirs, than are employed at companies. I mean, this man has been doing this not for 1, not 2, not 10 years, Bill Cosby has gotten away with drugging and raping women since the 60s. 40 plus years. Do you realize that a black man being able to do this in America is a surprise that he didn't end up somewhere looking like Emmett Till? And no, it was not just white women who he drugged and raped. He drugged and raped women of color. I happen to know 2 women of color who will never come forward because of the way black people treat victims of sexual assault. It's foolish and it's ignorant and it's got to stop being perpetuated. Here's the deal. All of these memes and stuff online that say, well, Bill Cosby got caught. What about all these other people? If Bill Cosby has been doing this for decades, and it took them almost 6-7 years to finally hone in on him and get him, you can't compare that to the people who were just exposed in the last 365 days as a part of the Me Too movement. Harvey Weinstein stuff was revealed, and within months, they got him, and he's been arrested, and he's out on $1 million bail. Do you realize how long it took them to get Bill Cosby? You can't compare Bill Cosby to Brett Kavanaugh because Clarence Thomas is in the Supreme Court, and he's black. So stop race baiting in issues where you don't need to race bait. Men have gotten away with bad behavior for years. Bill Cosby deserved what happened to him. If this was your mother, your aunt, your sister, your niece, any woman that you love, the reality is that you wouldn't care about anybody else or any other situation. The reality is that all you would want is this person behind bars. So don't subscribe to the fact that the man who played Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable is also a bad man and now you want him to get off scot-free. That's the mistake that black people made with O.J. Simpson. Race was used to manipulate us, and we have to stop falling for that okie doke. It's just a true situation. And you can't compare people who are accused of sexual harassment to a man who drugged and raped women. Here's the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is this. All of that is wrong. But if I sexually harass you, or even sexually assault you, if I grab you and try to hold you down and make out with you or something, at least you have a fighting chance at fighting me off, of getting away from me, of pushing me off, of running out the room. Bill Cosby drugged you so that you never had a say in the matter. You were incapacitated. Well, that might not be the right word. You were unconscious. You had no ability to be able to say yes or no or fight. Bill Cosby drugged. Nobody else that he's been compared to has drugged anybody. Harvey Weinstein is the closest thing to him as far as it is, as it comes to like the rape scenario, and he's been arrested, is facing trial, and is out on bail. So if we would just pay attention to actual facts and read and stop getting everything from social media headlines and memes. For those who consider themselves spiritual, even the Bible says, study to show thyself approved. Some of y'all need to study, read. There's information out there, and you don't have to be in the business like me to know it. I only went and found it because I wanted to be smart. But some of us function in authoritative ignorance, and it has to stop. But, you know, and then the whole Trump thing. Trump has never been accused of raping anybody. Sexual harassment and sexual misconduct, yes. Yes, Trump talked about grabbing women by the pussies, yes. But the facts remain that nobody else, not Trump, not Weinstein, not Mario Batali, not Matt Lauer, not, what's my brother name on the CBS morning show? Charlie Rose, none of them have been accused of drugging and raping women. And none of them were exposed decades ago, and it took them this long to get away with that. A lot of people say, what do you think about Camille Cosby? How do you feel about you know, what's happening to Camille Cosby. I don't feel sorry for Camille Cosby. Camille Cosby knew, before you all knew, that multiple women have been paid off. She has been on the phone with women. She was aware of a lot of this stuff happening. I mean, I don't want to say that Camille Cosby has been complicit, but what I will say is Camille Cosby was aware this was going on, and she stayed with her husband. I mean, she's old school. Some women really take that thing till death do us part to the end. But I think that when you know your husband is out here drugging and raping women, and you keep having to pay multi-million-dollar settlements in these situations, and your husband keeps having to go to court for this, at some point, you too have to bear some level of responsibility and holding up, you know, what your husband is doing. So, Bill Cosby's scenario is not about race. Bill Cosby's scenario is about responsibility. It's about rape. It's about drugging and taking advantage of women, many of which who had no say in the matter. I don't care if 2 or 3 of the women went there as groupies or willing participants. The moment he drugged them and took advantage of them, all bets were off. You know, it wasn't about the sex with Bill Cosby. Let's be clear about this. This wasn't a sexual act, because Bill Cosby could have gotten sex from anywhere he wanted it. Bill Cosby did this because he's a sociopath. Bill Cosby did this because he has a sickness. Anybody who has to drug you to have a sexual encounter with you, then makes jokes about it in his stand-up comedy, and then flippantly testifies about it in court depositions and said, this is just something we did during those times, that's a sick individual. And that sick individual, Bill Cosby, still got off very lightly with only having to do 3 to 10 years in prison. Because the only reason that he was gotten for the Andrea Constant case and not all the others is because the criminal justice system is not set up to benefit sexual assault victims. And a lot of times sexual assault victims don't come out. You know why? Because of people like the ones who defend Bill Cosby. Because of people like the ones who defend Brett Kavanaugh. Because of ignorant people who buy into the celebrity persona of people who happen to be human beings with sicknesses, illness, and bad behavior. So that's how I feel on the Bill Cosby scenario. I don't want to stick too much time on it, because it just is what it is. I just want us to be smarter, to be better, and stop always using race as an excuse for everything. Hold on one quick second. All right, so Cosby, done, clear, cool. So if you're following me on Instagram and you use the Insta Stories feature, you know I've been on this purging and cleaning thing, reorganizing and all that stuff, particularly in my office. And so some of the things I've been posting is that I have all these collections of magazines and artifacts and things from my past life as a journalist, when I was a full-time writer. I'm still doing TV journalism, but mostly TV hosting and social media influencer work. So I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, but I was the entertainment editor for many years of a men's magazine called Smooth. And this is Smooth. It was one of those sexy, magazines like King and Maxim, and there was a third one, I can't think what it was called. But this is a cover story I did on Vivica Fox for Smooth. And I was really proud of this cover story because it almost didn't happen. We had shot Vivica, and right around this time, Jamie Foster Brown from Sister to Sister had gone on the set of Vivica's movie, The Salon, and asked Vivica these questions about 50 Cent. And I guess Vivica thought she was having casual conversation with Jamie. and Jamie ran it as a cover story in the magazine, and Vivica was mad. So Vivica's manager canceled her interview with me. So I got Bow-Legged Lou from Full Force and Kim Whitley to call her and tell her, please talk to him. He's a good guy. So I talked to her, and let me tell you, a good journalist can get you to talk about things that you don't want to talk about in a way that makes you comfortable. And so I was told, you can come and talk to Vivica, don't you ask her about 50 Cent. So I said, cool, I'm good on that. And so I went to the set. She was shooting a movie in LA. And I can't remember what movie she was shooting, but I went to the set. It was in Santa Monica. It may have been Two Can Play That Game Too. And on the table in her trailer was the Sister to Sister article that she was so upset about. So, I'm trying to find this quote. Hold on, because it's very interesting. And, let's see here. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So, I found it. So, I did my entire interview. I asked all my questions. And right at the end of the interview, I looked down at the place where the where the magazine was, and I said, how does that make you feel? You know, when people do stuff like that to you. And so then she talked about the 50 Cent thing. And her manager was in the room, and she looked at me afterwards and was like, you're good. Because I never asked about 50 Cent. I only asked about the Sister to Sister cover. And Vivica gave me what I needed. So let me read this part of this to you, and then I'll show you some of the other stuff. Let's see. Fox is one of those actresses who starves her, is not one of those actresses who starves herself. Hold on. Not at all. This applies to interviews actually have, but truth is almost. Wait a minute. Okay, here we go. Fox isn't one of those actresses who starves herself. She says, you don't mind if I eat while we talk, do you? Before digging into her kookaroo chicken, squash, cream spinach, and black beans. Not at all, I replied, just happy that the interview is actually happening. Truth is, it almost didn't. There had been a swarm of rumors surrounding Fox and her short-lived special friendship with hip-hop bad boy 50 Cent. Because of that, the actress had avoided the press in an effort to maintain her integrity. One magazine in particular was invited to the Baltimore set of her current film, and things got out of hand when the Rag's publisher failed to focus on the behind-the-scenes aspect of the film and instead asked one too many questions of her ties to the G-Unit rapper, forcing Fox to cut the interview short. Much to her dismay, the magazine then read the headline, Vivica Fox 2 cents on 50 Cent. That Jamie Foster Brown was a crafty one. While the actress was disappointed with with what she considered yellow journalism, she still phoned the publisher and thanked her for her coverage. And these are some of the photos on the inside that we shot of Vivica in some sexy swimsuits, bikini. Look at her on the bed. Go ahead, Vivica. She says, they slipped that one in there, to be honest, says Fox. I was not granting anyone interviews on 50 Cent, as I stated in the article. I will never speak negatively about 50 Cent. Now, mind you, this cover story is, what year was this? 2004. So, I was not granting anyone interviews on 50 Cent. As I stated in the article, I will never speak negatively about 50. I have had nothing bad to say. It's yesterday's news. It was a relationship that didn't work out, and I wish him well. I just don't get down like that, and I don't talk negatively about people. So it was just cool, and then she went on to say some other stuff. So I just wanted to talk to y'all about how, like, sometimes when I watch these interviews where celebrities get mad at reporters and stuff for asking bad questions, it's really all in how you ask and how you present certain things. So, but I had a good time working for Smooth. They used to throw an annual Hollywood party around my birthday, so it was like a birthday party, Smooth Hollywood party. And I used to do a column in it called the 411, where I used to ask certain celebrities a bunch of questions. Okay, can anybody find Cordell Taylor for me. He's an actor. This used to be my buddy. I've lost touch with him. Anybody know where Cordell Taylor is? Find him. He was an actor and a barber. Cordell Taylor. Somebody find him for me, please. Does anybody know Cordell Taylor? And Kel Mitchell and Desiree Coleman Jackson. Yeah. So I also did a cover story on Tamia. What up, Tamia? That's my buddy. We had a great conversation. Cover story on the actress Tamala Jones. She looks good. I see that donkey. I see you, Tamala. I think this article we talked about her and Nate Dogg. Then we did another Hollywood swimsuit issue on Golden Brooks from Girlfriends. What up, Golden? Golden looks good, doesn't she? Hey, Golden. And I interviewed Tweet. I love her. Tell me what you did last night. I look over to the left. Oh, that might be the right. Left. Yeah, Tweet. Tweet said, I might be a first lady one day. I'm going to wear a full dress. Come on, Tweet. Cover story on Claudia Jordan. Hey, Claudia. And congratulations again on your radio gig in Dallas. Go ahead, Claudia. I did a cover story on these are all just the covers that I did interviews for on Terry J. Vaughn. Look at Terry. I see you, Terry. Terry said, I'm gonna put this swimsuit on, but I'm gonna put a little cloak on top of it too. Go ahead, Terry. Avita Alizé Jenkins. Lavita Alizé Jenkins. And Elise Neal, who still looks the exact same. Go ahead, Elise. This was a good story, too. I think we talked about... What did we talk about? She was dating somebody, and I asked her about that. I did a cover story on Lisa Ray. Let me tell you why I like Lisa Ray. Clearly, she's in all white in this two-piece, very sexy bikini. But what I really like about Lisa Ray was, at the time in which we did this shoot with her, there were these rumors that she was dating or having, you know, a little dalliance with Gary Payton from the LA Lakers. But that show didn't stop her from putting on this LA Lakers bikini with Lakers right in the middle of her crotch and these Laker boots. She was like, oh, y'all talking about me? Hey, Lisa Ray. Look at that. This was good, though. There's a photo inside that I really love, though. Oh, and this is look. These are the people I talked to for the column. Selena Johnson, Sharissa Lateef, and Rashad. Look at that. Hold on, let me find these Lisa Ray photos, because there's a photo I want to show y'all. Oh, there's something else in here too I want to show y'all. Oh, I forgot about this. It was so dope. Hold on, I'll get to it. Okay, here we go. Lisa Ray, The Naked Truth by Jawn Murray. Ain't that something? She look good though, don't she? Look at her. Go ahead, Lisa Ray. Look at these photos. Don't she look good? But this photo right here, ain't this beautiful? That's a shot right there. Look at it. Now that's a shot. Go ahead, Lisa Ray. But yo, what's really cool is, I forgot that we did this. We did a fashion spread on the men of UPN. Look at this. This is when I became cool with Jason George and Chico Beneman. And Flex and I have been friends already. But look, there's Dwayne Martin. Dorian Wilson. Yo, magazines used to be so cool. And then Mike Weaver from, I think he was on Dwayne on the Mullets. I don't remember that show. And then Flex Alexander and Dan Cortez. Look at here. And let's see. Reggie Hayes from Girlfriends and Jason George from JT Hunter on the Opposite Sex. And what's the other show? Eve. He did Eve. And Chico Beneman from Half and Half. Look at here. Those were the good old days. I was very proud of that spread. All right. And last but certainly not least, my infamous interview with Corinne Steffens. I did not come up with this cover line, The Makings of Superhit Inc., because I know that Corinne doesn't like to be referenced in that way. But yeah, this was a beautiful cover. Look at Corinne. Go ahead, Corinne. I had some fun times with Corinne. So yeah, follow me on Instagram so you can keep up with my merge and purge, because I got some other stuff I've been going through that I'll be posting in the next couple of days in my Insta stories. And again, anybody who signed on late, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jawn Murray, JAWN MURRAY, and also follow me on Instagram. I appreciate it. Feel free to share this post on your page. And look, moving forward, guys, let's just be smarter and wiser. Oh, I still got this. I'm going to show you this. It's a, what do you call it, bobblehead of Bill Cosby. I interviewed the cast of Fat Albert in Philadelphia back in, I think, 2006. And they gave us these as a gift. You know, and so now, you know, when Mr. Cosby is telling young men to pull his pants up, you know, he was pulling his pants up after he drugged and raped women. And maybe somebody in jail will be telling him to pull his pants down. But, no, I ain't getting rid of this. You know, I don't like what the man did, but still a cool toy. Guilty. 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 Yeah. Oh, speaking of bobbleheads, Mike Jones, when he came out, they sent me this one. It's a bobble butt. Look at this. It says, drop and give me 50. I'm going to show this to y'all now. I'm probably going to get rid of it afterwards because I don't have no use for this anymore. Oh, I think I just broke it. Well, I think I just, oh, all that booty done broke her ankles. Look, she leaning with a rocket with it. Leaning with a rocket with it. It ain't supposed to do that, but look. Should I be shaking this in the Me Too era? Is this appropriate? I mean, she could stop shaking on her own. If Bill Cosby was shaking her, she'd be asleep. Like this. All right, I need to go. Listen, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I know I keep threatening to make the move to YouTube, and I will be soon. So make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jawn Murray. You can also be in the comment section there on YouTube. But I appreciate you guys being here. And for P. Joyce Valentine, who said get to the point, you'll probably be blocked at the end of this broadcast. All right, thank you guys. Love y'all. Peace.